So, hello, Jatin. Thank you so much for jumping on the call with me today. Uh,
Pleasure.
and yeah, the first question I just wanted to ask you was just tell us who you are and what you do.
So presently I'm in between gigs. I am a full stack developer, sort of tech lead with a little bit of a lean towards architecture and frequently get parachuted into teams to sort of achieve deliverables. Most recently worked in the public sector here in the UK with the Ministry of Justice, and prior to that, the Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, which was a massive Brexit project. And before that, private sector, a variety of different sectors and things.
Yeah. So your situation before joining was that you're working as a tech lead or as a more of a software
Unemployed.
engineer, unemployed. Yes.
Unemployed. I had just literally left my last project on the at the end of June.
Yeah.
And there I was working via consultancy with another consultancy in the criminal justice system, building an initiative that, and due to contractual obligations and restrictions, they could not extend me.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
And effectively what happened is, so I was working side by side with an architect, but at the same time I had to do the sort of full stack application. And because we were deploying, so the Ministry of Justice have their own Kubernetes cloud within AWS. And if you're supported by a business unit, there's some self-serve business, so there's some bootstrapping tools you can use. It's essentially self-service. I had to build all of that from scratch because I was not allowed to use them because there was no business unit backing the initiative. So who's going to fund the project as BAU? And while working on that project, the DevOps guy joined, and he was troubleshooting a DevOps build, and he was gearing up to give me instructions on what to do in kubectl, etc., and everything. And he found that he only had to give me the command once, and I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you need to," and then he just stopped talking. We then had a conversation, and he's like, "Have you ever considered going into DevOps?"
Yeah.
I'm like, DevOps, architecture, Go, Python, data engineering. I need to pick one. I can't just do everything. So that's kind of where I was before I joined.
Yeah. And what made you then finally decide to join KubeCraft?
So I've been watching your videos on and off, possibly for about 10 months. You know, because the Obsidian ones came up on my feed, and I've tried Obsidian, I've done Evernote when it first came out, etc. And one of my biggest challenges is structuring my thinking, etc. And I go through streaks where I can kind of do it. So I already knew you had a really good way of conveying it. And then I had exchanged a few messages with Lara.
Yeah.
And
Laura is in Dutch, but
Lara is Dutch.
Laura is the fine pronunciation. Yeah.
And I quite like the fact that it's not just about DevOps. There is Linux in there. The Home Lab video, which I've watched 3-4 times, is really appealing. And give you an idea, there is no reason why I cannot build my own Home Lab, but there's gaps in my knowledge. And you can go to like Front-End Masters or Epic Web Dev, and you can learn very specific things of Boot Dev, for instance, which is a back-end engineer. But for me, I kind of felt I needed to plug the gaps. And at the moment, my interests go across a variety of areas. So I just said, you know what? You're unemployed. Haven't got a project in between gigs. Go for it. You're not going to get a job in the summer anyway. So
Yeah.
may as well try.
Exactly. The hidden hiring calendar, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Which made sense when I watched it. I mean, I kind of subconsciously knew about it. And there's the other thing is, there's been a lot of friction for me personally to sort of build in public.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
watched your LinkedIn video before I joined, and this is kind of my last, so KubeCraft is possibly going to be it's my way of saying, okay, you've got this for a year. you need to make this work. Something has to come out of it. And I like that it's not prescriptive and I can jump around. So that's kind of answers two questions in one, but essentially, yes.
Yeah. So then maybe to double click on that. So what did you hope to get out of it, basically?
Initially, when I came in, I wanted to be dangerous in DevOps. I don't have to be a DevOps engineer, but if I ever have a position where DevOps is a member of my team, I need to understand what the person is capable of doing. Because as a tech lead or a team lead or just a senior person within the team, it's about making sure that I like to think that I will never ask a member of my team, and I don't think of them as subordinates, but we'll use the word just for now. I should not ask them to do something I'm not willing to do myself. And quite frequently, a particular resource is overworked and you need to support them. So DevOps, being dangerous in DevOps would be a good thing. Sorry, dry throat. And I think the Linux confidence increase is quite a nice side effect of it all. And hey, who doesn't want to say I use Arch, by the way?
Yeah, it's a funny one because it has that purpose. It has the meme purpose, but you do learn a lot by doing that, going through the process. So maybe, so far, what is then the biggest milestone you've had, or the best result? Is it like a mindset shift or a skill, or?
I think it's I am not alone. It was very surprising to see the age profiles of various peoples on the Q&A. I've already built up a bit of a rapport with one of the younger people on the group. We can mention names?
Well, maybe not.
We'll keep it a non for now.
Yeah.
Well, I think you know who I mean.
Yes.
And which is something I do not have with my former co-workers and friends. Because some of them will basically say, well, you're a full stack engineer. Why are you wasting your time here? Surely you need to improve your TDD fluency or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So from that thing, that was quite the eye opener. And it also doesn't feel like an intimidating community. You can kind of get that. I've experienced it in cycling, for instance. Cyclists can be absolutely wonderful, but the closer you get to London, they can be absolutely terrible to, it's all about their Strava points and all this sort of stuff. And at the moment I'm still meandering. I don't really know where I'm going to go. So I kind of want to just focus on learn, enjoy your learning, and just build up that repeatable habit. And it's not be so streakish.
Yes. So would you say then that finding the community is then one of the biggest things for you? The other people and meeting people?
Yes, I'm still very early in. And there have been a couple of posts that have been quite, is profound the correct word? Eye-opening is probably the best one. People finding their jobs and then they give you this 500-word post. And you look at all the intricacies of the challenges that they have faced. And then the first thing that comes across is you're not alone, because I've had some of those challenges. Oh, I didn't realize that was a challenge for some people. From a tech lead perspective or a mentoring capacity, it's really good because it's always good to hear someone else's perspective, which you may not necessarily get within a commercial or sort of a team environment, because people are quite protectionists about their feelings and things.
Yeah.
And the whole accountability thing, that I know is a big difficulty for me, because I have certain skills I'm exceptionally good at, but they're not technical.
Yeah.
And yet what is becoming obvious to me is I have former colleagues and friends who put me on a pedestal because of those other skills. So I just need to turn those skills into to help them compensate my not compensate, support. Symbiotic with my technical skills.
Yeah.
And maybe I actually do know more than I actually do. Maybe I do know more than I think. And so in a way, it's the community is there. You get a little bit of neutrality in conversations. There's no ceremony, and you can just focus on learning. And you can always learn from people, be it technical or non-technical.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you. I really like to hear that you that you so quickly already noticed that, even being in the community for such a short time, but you've been very active on the coaching calls, the Q&A calls, and also sharing a lot there. So it means a lot to me to hear someone as senior as yourself, to hear that you grasp that so quickly, of this community sense that we have, and the people helping each other.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. And the only other place where I've seen this kind of community develop really well is another platform I'm a member of, which is boot.dev. But I feel slightly out of touch with it because a lot of it's in Discord.
Mm-hmm.
and that's the one difference between the two communities over here. I think school just allows you to be a little bit more, if you feel you're in a remote team. And Discord, it's just people polite people from Twitter.
Yeah. That's also one of the reasons why I chose the school platform, because I know I followed the founder for a while, and he is very strict on keeping everything as human as possible. So every week there's someone requesting a scheduled post feature for the community. And he's saying that's never going to happen, because school is about building communities. And when you just schedule out stuff for 4 weeks, you're not going to be there. And that's not how you build a community. So I think this whole platform is built for it, but also, like, everyone is there with their names and their profile picture. It's just completely different from a Discord in that sense, I would say.
Which is my Twitter handle.
Yes.
And also the other thing is with Discord, everything has a Discord. And I'm like, I don't think I can actually take this much of input as a complete cognitive overload. I joined a DevOpsy Discord a while ago. And then at the beginning of the year, they ran like a, do 30-day challenge kind of thing. Here, build some real life stuff. And unfortunately, it was all Azure focused, all US focused, all basketball focused. And I was like, nah, this is not going to work for me. That's where the home lab was quite an attractive thing, because I have a friend who has something similar for his own thing, and it's a nice pastime.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's a nice pastime. It's a dangerous, slippery slope too. You can, in terms of time, it can get very intense. Yes. But with a bit of the right guidance and knowing if you're in the right direction, right, then it really helps. And it can be a very efficient way to learn and to practice these skills in a safe environment.
Yes. And I guess the other thing is, in a way, the home lab is, and I have started down the Arch Linux. I've paused for a minute while I go and get another machine to kind of do it again. It kind of it kind of focuses on the fact is that everything, you need to make it enjoyable. So my props to ChatGPT, and I tried Claude today, have completely changed. It's more about what can I get out, how can we make this lifelong and scalable? And in a way, I think it'll encourage me to build the projects that I've put on a back burner for the best part of a year and a half. Because I found whenever I've learned something new, like when I started learning how to program in Python, it all made sense because, I know loops, I know this, I know structures, etc. The programming concepts are exactly the same. It effectively improved my JavaScript. And now I do believe that, yes, go learn another language because it really makes you a better programmer. I actually believe that now, but I've been preaching it for over a decade. I've never followed it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yes, thank you for having me.
Yes. Oh, it's such a pleasure, and it's always nice to have more senior people on board as well in terms of a technical side, but also as a tech lead, as a more like you're more involved with hiring people maybe, and you have some insights there as well. So it's always good to have some more senior people on board as well. So it sounds that you're getting a lot of value out of it. So do you think this the process that we teach, is it going to help you reach your goals?
I believe it will. I think because in a way, things are laid out quite nicely, and some of the lectures that I've gone through already, and I'm calling them lectures because quite frequently I have it on the iPad while I'm on the treadmill and I'm watching them, and I rewatch them before I do a tech, because it's about knowledge assimilation. And in a way, because you've kind of pushed Obsidian, maybe not as a tool, but as a strategy, that resonates a lot, because if it's about building, you can't learn everything. You can't remember everything. But I've been trying to build a second brain for best part of 3 years since I came across the concept during the pandemic. And it's been very stop-start and give up the notion, it can't quite find anything. So from that perspective, I believe that by the time I complete a month, 2 months, I would have progressed quite well. There's some achievable milestones like getting comfortable with the first your own Linux installation. And then I can use some of that material with other material I already have access to sort of reinforce it. And in a way, I'm looking at this as relearning how to learn and build knowledge. And then the topic so much does not matter.
Interesting. Yeah. So it does seem that, like, I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but there's something to learn for everybody, right? So if you can be very strong on the tech side, well, then the soft skills and the learning, the note taking can help a lot. And I'm glad you're picking that up, because my whole idea for this was to build a sort of holistic. It's many people focus on the tools, but there's so much more to a career change and to reaching those goals, in my opinion.
And just to elaborate on that, as a contractor, which I've predominantly been for most of my life, you're frequently put in a situation where the priority is the delivery, is that thing. And I've been in so many situations where what is required has literally changed after planning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then I see project managers and delivery managers anchored to this, we must do agile. No, agile specifically says abort. Abort.
Change direction.
And what I have found is that my solutionizing instinct has not helped in those situations. So some things I have done in the past is I've made notes inconsistently but I've found that I've been able to sort of, when I can put my argument down in my mind so it's solidified, I can help steer the direction. The goal is not to control. It's to basically say, offer solutions. You have option A, option B, option C, and here are the side effects of those decisions. Do you fully understand those side effects? And it's only something that came to me during the Brexit project, when I had two competing services, two deputy directors on the phone, so way above my pay grade. And I said, well, you want this and you want this. We can only give you this. But because you're asking for this, do you realize this is what you're going to get? And they're like, oh, all right, okay.
Yeah.
I've simplified the problem, but So yes, it's like, so again, going back to KubeCraft is, I know I can do that side of it, but I don't want to lose my technical side of it. But I also, I feel there's a massive gap in my ability to learn and keep retention. I am dyslexic, which was diagnosed very, very late in my life. So that kind of explains why some things I can't, I mean, I can read things over and over again. They just don't go in my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so far so good. It's a nice pace. I can come back to it, and which is good.
Awesome. Well, final thing then, Jatin. So you mentioned that you have been on the fence for a while, and then then you mentioned that you were happy that you pulled the trigger. So what would you say to someone who is on the fence about joining KubeCraft?
If you are on the fence and you genuinely want to learn something, KubeCraft is a backbone which will allow you to find an anchor in order to layer your learning.
Well, thank you very much, Jatin, for sharing your thoughts with us. And I really appreciate having you in the community and look forward to seeing you growing and reaching those goals. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.